The Oklahoma Sooners are having a great end of June and early part of July on the recruiting trail. And we're going to get to know Heath Ozaeta, the 2023 offensive line commit from the Northwest. We'll talk to him on today's episode of Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, Sooners Nation? Welcome to today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thank you for joining me. My name is John Williams. You can follow me on Twitter at John9Williams. And joining me as he does every day is Josh Helmer from 94.7 The Ref in Norman. You can listen to him Monday through Friday from 9 to noon over there. You can also follow him on Twitter at JoshOnRef. And today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. For all of the best info and sports information, go to betonline.net. They've got you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline is where the game starts. Josh, some big news coming down the pipeline, but before we get to that, we've got a great guest joining us today.
We do. Let's welcome in Heath Ozaeta, one of the Sooners' recent commits. Heath, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. How you guys doing? Thanks so much for having me on here. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you as well. And, it's been a really interesting time over the last, 10, 11 days or so as the 2023 class, the chosen class, has really gotten the ball rolling, the dominoes starting to fall. So talk a little bit about your recruitment and your commitment, because it kind of all came about pretty quickly for you, right?
Yeah. So, my recruit was going for a while now. Other schools talking a lot. And then, me and Coach Bedenbaugh has been talking for like a month now. We went down there, visited. He toured us around. I got to meet some of the guys. It just, like, when we were there, it just felt right. Like, it felt like the place we wanted to be. So he offered me that night, and I committed that night. I didn't announce it that night, but I just committed on the spot. It was right. I've been a fan my whole life. I was born there. I got family there. Grandparents went there. So I loved it. So I didn't want to waste the opportunity. It's awesome.
So obviously you mentioned the family connections, and it sounds like you were just kind of blown away. Probably what you expected at the University of Oklahoma, but what was it about what Coach Bedenbaugh had to say to you, and what was it about OU that kind of blew you away that quickly?
Yeah, well, I really liked Coach Bedenbaugh. We sat down and talked for a while, just telling me how to develop his players, just talking about, like, his system and everything. It just felt like the place I could go to get better and become a better player. You can see success with all these players in the league. Just Jamore Award, like, all this stuff. And also just, like, the facilities, all the other coaches I met with, like, watched the workout for a while. I just got the feeling it just felt right. So
you mentioned the workouts, and when we had your fellow commit Joshua Bates on a few weeks back, he talked about how he and his dad talked about the idea of going to Oklahoma and how the environment and the attitude was going to be a fit for him, and it was going to look to make him a better player. When you watched the workouts, did you kind of get the same sense watching, Jerry Schmidt put those guys through the paces? Is that something that you kind of like, yeah, I want to be a part of this?
Oh yeah, no, totally. The way that worked out was very, like, it was intense and, like, intentional. Like, they were running everywhere. Like, you run past the line, and, like, it was very, like, just like it looked like something I want to be a part of. I've been in it's like that. That's how my high school runs. Is like you run everywhere. You don't walk. You're not lazy. You're out here to work, and I just love it.
It sounds like obviously you're very familiar with the University of Oklahoma. You said fan growing up. So just how familiar then are you with OU? Did you watch a lot of OU football growing up?
Yeah, we watched a good amount. I moved out of Oklahoma when I was young. I was like 6 in the kindergarten. We came back a few times. I went to the spring game last year. But I've just my mom, we've been following for a while.
So as a Sooners fan, as an offensive lineman committing to what we like to call OLU. Oh, yeah. Who's one of the guys that you've kind of looked up to, a player that you followed in your high school career, your early days, someone that you've really enjoyed watching play offensive line at the University of Oklahoma that you hope to kind of, achieve similar status to?
I mean, the obvious answer really is Trent Williams. Like, he's a dog. I mean, watching his tape, he's just an animal. I mean, you see the 99 Club, like, he's just that guy. It's been so fun to watch him.
Well, you certainly look the part, Heath. 6'6", 296 is what I'm looking at. Just the measurables, at least according to 24/7 Sports. How do you think that Oklahoma, for you, how do you think that your game continues to advance as you get to Oklahoma? And what is it about Oklahoma and their history with offensive linemen that, again, made this the right fit?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm a perfectionist. I mean, I got a lot of stuff to work on. And I know, like, he was showing me Coach Bedenbaugh, we were going to do is show me some of the drills that they were doing and, like, stuff they work on, show me what I need to work on, just telling me. So I think just, like, he's got, like, a vision for me, and I'm excited for that.
So then as you kind of approach your senior season, like, what are some of the things that you're working on this summer specifically?
Oh, the main thing is definitely just my hips and my pad level. I've always struggled with tighter hips, and so I work at, like, Ford Sports Performance out in Bellevue, Washington. I'm going there twice, 2 times a week, and we're just doing, like, solely just hip workouts, focusing my pad level. I think that will definitely just improve my game so much.
What do you kind of envision for your future at OU in terms of position? I mean, obviously, seems like it would be offensive tackle would be natural, but do you feel like offensive guard is something in the future? Is it strictly offensive tackle?
I mean, ideally, offensive tackle. I mean, it's what I've always played. It's what I'm comfortable at. I think Coach sees me at playing tackle too, but I mean, I can't definitively say that until I get there and work out with him and everything.
Well, yeah, because you kind of got to get there and earn a spot. But, having some flexibility is always a good thing, right? Being able to bump inside and play a little bit of guard, playing tackle. I think that's probably where your athleticism will show the best. I mean, that's what I've seen. And the thing that stood out to me is your ability to kind of get to the second level, get out in space. And the other thing that really stood out when I watched your highlights was just your seemingly enjoyment of finishing players and finishing blocks. Is that something you really take pride in?
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of the most fun parts about being offensive lineman is just put someone on their butt. It's like, I don't know, it's like satisfying when you're just driving when they just fall over. But I mean, I definitely enjoy it. Yeah.
How would you describe yourself as an offensive lineman?
I would say I'm very athletic for my size and my position. I think I'm gritty. I like to work. I'm mean. I'd say mean and athletic. Main 2 things.
And that seems to be kind of a trend here with what Bill Bedenbaugh is kind of putting together. Josh Bates, he talked about some of the same things as the nastiness. He used some more colorful language out there on our episode with him. But I feel like that's something that we're going to start seeing, and maybe even part of the Brent Venables era is just trying to find guys that come with that same level of intensity a little bit more. And I think we'll start seeing that play out on the field. We're going to continue to talk here with Heath Ozaeta, 2023 commit for the Oklahoma Sooners here on Locked On Sooners. But first, I want to talk to you about LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn sponsoring the show. As the sun comes out and small businesses are back in business, LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier to grow your team. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the people you want to interview faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Yes, 810 million people use LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn. I've used it to help myself in my nursing career with recruiting. I've even used it in here on Locked On Sooners as well, just in connecting with people. And you can do the same thing on LinkedIn. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
So we've heard a little bit from Heath about his relationship with Coach Bedenbaugh. Got to hear a little bit about what he thinks about Brent Venables. Real quick, though, let me tell you, as always, brought to us by BetOnline.net, your #1 source for all of your betting needs and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including the Major League Baseball season. We've got futures out there as well, college football, NFL futures, BetOnline.net. That remains the #1 spot for all of your sports scores, podcast news this season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all of that. So head on over to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. So we've heard a little bit about Heath's relationship with, obviously, Coach Bedenbaugh and how that led to the commitment with the Oklahoma Sooners. Heath, what are your thoughts on just the direction that Oklahoma is heading in general? Fans are very curious about what the future for OU holds. What's sort of your perspective on Brent Venables and really just the entirety of this Oklahoma offensive coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's so excited about Coach Venables. And great coach. I mean, we've talked a couple of times. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, I love everything he said. And I really think the program's going in, like, just upwards direction with, I mean, all the coaches, everyone back. Like, I mean, I think it's going in the right direction.
Who are some of the coaches that, aside from Bill Bedenbaugh, that maybe you've connected with the most during just your kind of 1 month long recruitment?
Yeah. Just Coach Bedenbaugh a lot and Coach Levy too. We've been
okay.
I sat down with him when I was there. So I'd say him and Coach Venables are definitely the coaches I've talked to the most.
So speaking of Coach Levy, sorry, Josh, what does it mean to have kind of a guy who's got an offensive line background as an offensive coordinator? That's pretty unique, right?
I mean, everything starts with the guys up front, and I think with that, like, lens, and also, I mean, him being obviously not past, like, I think it helps me in the line, and just kind of, I think it will help the offense overall too, with just everything.
So we've talked some about your relationship with the coaches and what you see for your future at Oklahoma. What do you think about the rest of this Oklahoma chosen class?
Yeah, I mean, we've all been connecting recently. We got a couple of group chats going. Me and Josh Bates have been talking for a while. I mean, we're all getting close. I mean, I like everybody there. And we're all super excited, and we're all pumped up to get there.
Have you gotten a chance to watch any of these guys?
I have watched Josh Bates and Cayden Green's highlights, and they are some animals. I will say that.
All right, so yeah, I wanted to ask, like, what's the thing that stands out about Bates?
He's fast and he's mean. Two things that, I mean, we need a good offensive lineman. He finishes guys. He's a great player. And
then about Cayden Green, who the Oklahoma Sooners just got a commitment from, 4-star offensive lineman out of Missouri. That was a huge commit. I mean, it blew up Twitter all day people were anticipating that. As you watched him and got a chance to see him play, what are the things that stood out about him?
I'm not going to say a broke record, but honestly, kind of similar to Josh Bates. He's just a dog. He's just mean. He's got, like, great instincts and everything.
From your perspective, look, you're right. Any offense, and really any defense for that matter, it starts up front, right? Football's won in the trenches, but it has to be exciting when you look around in this 2023 class and as you're getting to know the rest of what this chosen class for Oklahoma looks like and who you'll be playing with here in the near future. You have to love the fact that you've got a quarterback like Jackson Arnold in this class. You've got a wide receiver like Jaquays Petaway. You've got a running back in Caleb Hicks. You've got another wide receiver in Keon Brown. How good is the quarterback in your mind in Jackson Arnold, and how much talent do you have in the skill positions?
Oh, we got a lot. I mean, Jackson Arnold specifically, he's I mean, Elite 11 MVP, like, he's showing out. Like, I think he should definitely be higher up in the rankings. But, I mean, I think we got the right quarterback with that. I'm super excited to block for him. I mean, all other skill guys, they're great.
Are there any offensive line guys that you've kind of connected with on the current team?
But not really, if I'm being honest. I didn't get to spend much time with the players. It was kind of just more like I introducing myself to them, and we just kind of, because they were going to a workout when I was down there, and so it was just kind of like introducing myself, and then they had to go to their lift.
Yeah, you can't make them late to their workout.
Yeah,
otherwise they'll be on you when you first get to campus about having to go to the Stairmaster because of Heath Ozaeta. Yeah.
What excites you about getting to operate in this Oklahoma offense in the future?
I mean, just the history and everything. I mean, I'm just excited to work with Coach Bedenbaugh, honestly, and just let him just work with me and give me a better player. I think that's what definitely really excites me.
All right, so we got a couple questions for you, Josh or Heath. You're Josh. He's Heath. It's late. I've been up since 4 a.m. From our followers over on Twitter at Locked On Sooners. The first one asked, and we kind of talked about this, just on offensive lineman that you like to watch. But is there an Oklahoma player that's your favorite aside from Trent Williams, or is that the guy that is your number one favorite Oklahoma Sooner?
I mean, I really have to say he's my favorite. But I mean, I've always liked Baker Mayfield, watching him when he was at OU. I mean, and still when he's in the league. But I mean, really, just Trent Williams, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. I thought it was a really good question that came from OU Sports Roundup. And then we had another one from Chasen8 at Scrawl14. He says, have you been to a Sooner game in person? We kind of talked about that. And then he wanted to know, will you be able to make any games this season?
Yeah, so actually we're got an official plan for the OSU game. And so we're going to be out there that weekend. And it's going to be crazy, and we're so excited to be there.
You picked a good weekend to come.
Oh yeah, no, we purposely picked that weekend. It was we're so hyped for it.
So I'd imagine then you're familiar with Bedlam, but how familiar are you, and what do you know about Bedlam?
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really know that much. I'm straight.
Yeah, I mean, you'll learn pretty quick on that Saturday in November what Bedlam's all about, because Oklahoma's going to be looking to get that one back after falling in Stillwater last season. Mm-hmm. So we're talking with Heath Ozaeta. We're going to start getting to know Heath a little bit more off the field. What are some of his interests? These are the questions we put Joshua Bates through, Jackson Arnold, Caleb Hicks, and now Heath's going to answer some of these questions for us after we talk to you about Built Bar. Built Bar is the #1 protein bar on the market. It tastes great, and it's great for you. Low calorie, low sugar, high protein, and all delicious. And if you've enjoyed the coconut brownie chunk like I have, make sure you try the coconut brownie chunk puff. It's the coconut brownie chunk flavor, all the goodness in that, but in that marshmallow texture, that marshmallow consistency. It is fantastic. You're going to love it. Make sure you go to built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your next order over at built.com.
So maybe you can see, but John and myself, we are sporting some amazing new Oklahoma apparel. There you go, a little Sooner magic on your YouTube screen for you. It's from Homefield Apparel, and the brand the collection is launched. 15 different pieces of apparel. That includes T-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, all vintage marks. So go check them out, homefieldapparel.com. New customers, they can get 50% off their first purchase from Homefield with our code LOCKEDONSooners at checkout, again, over at homefieldapparel.com, where they've got some of the coolest Oklahoma vintage gear you can find. Heath, we like to just kind of ask some final football questions, but maybe some non-football related stuff too. What are some of your favorite hobbies away from the game of football?
I mean, I like to lift, but I don't think that's going to count. I like to fish. There's a lot of good fishing around where I live. I mean, boating. We go boating a lot. I would like doing that. I mean, most of my time I hang out with my girlfriend. I'm being honest. But I'd say those two things. I mean, what I'm doing when I'm not playing football.
Yeah, well, you're going to fit right in with Coach Bedenbaugh then, because I think he spends a lot of time on the lake himself. What's one of your favorite restaurants?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
It is.
I'd say there's this Thai eatery. It's this Thai place in Snoqualmie where I live. It's really good.
I like some Thai food.
Can't go wrong with Thai food. Can't go wrong with Thai food. Are you much of a movies person? What kind of movies do you like? Is there a favorite for you?
Whew. Favorite movie? That's tough. I'm thinking. I really like Shawshank Redemption. Me and my brother were watching that a lot. It's really good.
That is a fantastic film. I'm actually kind of impressed. I mean, I'm old, so I should know it. You're kind of a young guy, but it's great that is your brother older than you?
Yeah, he's 21. He's a sophomore now, I think.
Okay, so I mean, I'm sure he got introduced to it probably by a family member or a parent, because that movie's from way back. I don't know if you were even alive when that movie came out. So it's pretty cool that a classic, because it's a classic. Are you into like the superhero movies at all? Do you have a favorite superhero?
Spider-Man. It's no questions asked.
Okay.
He's just, I mean, I don't know. I've always liked him when I was younger, and he's just like, I feel like it'd be fun to be him just flying around New York City.
So then have you watched like all of the Spider-Man films, like even the ones from like 20 years ago?
Sadly, I have not watched the newest one. I've been meaning to, but I've just been busy. But I mean, everyone just said it's so good. But
yeah. All right. So then I got to ask you then, like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, or Tom Holland Spider-Man? Which one's your favorite?
Okay, this is a hot take, but I like Tom Holland the best. I think it's a very controversial opinion, but I think I like him the most. Maybe he's not the best Spider-Man, but I think he's my favorite.
I think he's the best Spider-Man. So I'll join you on the hot take train on that front. And I don't think Andrew Garfield gets enough credit for how good of a Spider-Man
I agree. I think he's a good Peter Parker.
Yeah, I agree.
What about music? Do you have a favorite genre of music you listen to? Who are some of your favorite artists?
It's rap or country for me. I'd say right now the past like couple months I've just been on a big country spree, and so I'd say I listen a lot of Morgan Wallen or Zach Bryan are my main two guys.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I love Zach Bryan. You can get down with that, and you'll fit in pretty well here in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
if you're gonna get to the country. So I bet Josh could point you to some nice country spots there in Norman.
Oh yeah, I bet he could.
No doubt about it. Yeah, there's plenty around here, not just in Norman, Oklahoma City, the entire metro. What do you think about just some of this is obviously not something that concerns you or Oklahoma moving forward, but what do you just make of some of the news in college football, the USCs and UCLAs going to the Pac-12, being where you're from in that part of the country? I mean, what has the reaction been from your friends, your family, the people that you talk to? And what is your reaction to all of this craziness in college football?
I mean, it's just like, I think it's been a big domino effect with everything. Started with OU in Texas, trying to get SEC, then everyone just, I think after USC and UCLA just announced, it's just been crazy. I mean, I think I think it's exciting just to see some new teams going to each other, it's like new stuff. I think the main thing I'm kind of confused about is what's going to happen to the Pac-12 if everyone just leaves. But I mean, I guess probably bring some new teams in or something.
Yeah, so like you're from Washington. What are Huskies fans saying about all this? There's a lot of rumors that Washington and Oregon are trying to go to the Big Ten, that there's rumors that the Big 12 is going after Washington and Oregon. Kind of what's everybody saying up there?
I think people are excited, honestly. I mean, my girlfriend's family they're huge Husky fans. And I mean, I think they're excited about it. Just get some, I mean, the Pac-12 is kind of just like people are, just get some new competition, I think, new stuff. I think the main thing people are worried about is just like how far the kids have to travel for the games. just 'cause it's just not really that close traveling across the country and doing. I mean, my family's concerned. My mom's concerns were, how are you going to do your schoolwork when you're traveling to like Rutgers when you live in like LA or something?
I mean, it's a legit consideration for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and on that subject for Oklahoma, I mean, we'll see when OU and Texas are officially in the SEC, but how do you feel about that? How do you feel about playing in the SEC?
Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, definitely. I mean, it's the best conference in college football. It's just, I'm so excited to be playing that. I mean, it's an exciting time for OU football, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
It is an exciting time for OU football, and we're excited that you're a part of it as well. We've been joined here by Heath Ozaeta here on Locked On Sooners. It's been a lot of fun getting to know him. Heath, any other parting words you'd like to share with the Oklahoma Sooner fandom?
So there's this kid in Washington, Josiah Wagner. I need people to go after him. He's a dog, and he's down to his final schools. OU's one of them. You fans, you got to get after him. He's someone we need to get locked in.